Good morning, Vlogmas. It's day 16. Today we're going to talk about being unstuck. Not getting stuck in being miserable for the holidays. Not getting stuck in, I have to be joyful and happy every single second of every single day of every single holiday. This is Joyful Vlogmas, where we understand the happiness, the peace, the contentment that comes in the joy of speaking up, speaking out, and being present to one another during this very sacred time of the year. So great to have you here. So where should we go today on this roadmap, this adventure of both and space, so we don't get stuck? Because so often we get stuck and we have to be miserable. This holiday season, we've lost so much, we're going to be miserable. I mean, that is really simplifying things. But what happens is we get stuck in the belief about being joyful, for example, so therefore we cannot express ourselves authentically. Or we get stuck in the fact that we have lost someone, or we are lonely. And the problem is that when we get stuck in either of those sides, we miss out on the depth of the emotions and what that wants to stir up in us, and perhaps how we can deepen our relationship with ourselves and with our loved ones, or the people we're engaging with. And also to grow as a human. That's what life is about. I would like for you to think about that, kind of ponder about that, chew on that, leave it behind, whatever you feel like doing today. I'm grateful for your presence, and I know from the depths of who I am as a human that if you really consider that both and space, you will come out of this season feeling better, knowing better, and opening yourself up to the people who you surround yourself with. Now our roadmap, now that we've laid a firm foundation. We're going to go through Advent. In other words, we're going to talk about what events from November were particularly memorable to us, so that when we come to the end of December, we will realize what worked well for us this year. We are then going to visit our guest, our special guest star, who is Rhonda Hensley from Entreaty by Rhonda Hensley. You're going to love her. After that, we are going to step into a sing-along. Yes, a sing-along. So if you're ever feeling low, you're in that more miserable spot, you can go to this sing-along where you can sing along 2 Christmas carols. It includes an accordion player. I know you don't want to miss that. And then we'll do Grace, Grit, and Grow. I think that after Grace, Grit, and Grow, we'll drive for a bit on a winter road. Now, this is not for everyone, but some of you have said you really enjoy watching the snowscape. So I'm going to put that in this video at the end, and you may enjoy it. You may enjoy it. You might want to come back to it. You might want to never watch it, and that's fine too. It's Advent. It's day 16 of Vlogmas. Hooray, hooray. We're looking at the month of November. So we're getting really close to the end of the year. And the funny thing is when you get to be a certain age, sometimes it's hard to remember what happened yesterday, much less what happened in November. But for me, I keep track. I'm a good documenter of my life. So these things are easier to remember, especially the small things are easier for me to remember. And it's really helpful as a creative, as a writer, as a speaker, as a YouTuber, if you can glean from all of these moments in your life, because they make great stories and they really help with storytelling, and they help with developing new characters if you're writing fiction, or if you're an actor and you're building a character from the words someone else has written. You all know I love doing that. Here's what I'm looking at in November that I thought was remarkable. And that is, in November, I was starting to prepare for Vlogmas. I know I'm over the top into this whole thing, but it was a way for me, of course, to honor my brother, but also for me to honor the fact that I have healed many of my Thanksgiving and Christmas woes. Many of the bad memories associated with those holidays, I know what the memories are, and they don't have power over me anymore like they used to. I have had so many unhappy holidays that it is quite thrilling to have joyful holidays. And my motivation, of course, is to help people to feel connected and appreciated and loved and all of those things and more that I don't even know yet during the holiday seasons. Now, I introduce to you Rhonda Hensley with Entreaty by Rhonda Hensley.
It's a beautiful day here where I live. And I am making this video for a very special lady. Julie asked me for a video about Christmas. And as I thought about what I was going to say or what I was going to do, I thought of this place here. It has a special meaning for me, a very special meaning. I call it God's Park. And, Christmas is such a spiritual time for me, and I've been in a lot of gratitude this year. Gratitude for where God has brought me, and for recovery in my life, and learning new things, learning how to do this. And so I wanted to come to God's Park in this tree behind me because it made me think of Julie, and she likes tree hugging and all of that sort of stuff. But as some of you know, part of my story is I had trauma in my childhood, and which made me very codependent and people pleaser, and they call it fawning now. That's what I did. And it pretty much set me up to marry an alcoholic. And over the years, he became very narcissistic, and our relationship was very toxic. I had a big part in that toxicity. Oh, but I started counseling, and then I started a 12-step program called Al-Anon, which is for friends and families of alcoholics. And I made some really good friends there. And I had this one friend, and we would come over here and hang out and call it God's Park. And it was a early part of my recovery for 31 years of focusing on myself, becoming aware of my problems, and changing all of that. But one of the things that I relate to Christmas is the childlike wonder. And that's what I got here in this park. God's Park was childlike wonder. And this is probably the most important part of this video, mainly for Julie. And I'm going to take you into the cedar tree that is behind me. It's like a fort in here. You walk in here and the whole thing is kind of enclosed, and you're in this really cool space, and it's the trees and how intertwined they are, and it's just a big open space. And when it's warm, it's really thick in here, and it was like a fort. And we would come here and laugh and like hiding like little kids in our special fort. And I began to heal. Some of it was the love of a friend, and some of it were the trees. So Julie, this one's for you. I wish all of you a Merry Christmas and the peace and love and joy of the season. Seek it.
Rhonda, thank you so much. When I first watched this video, I cried. I felt seen and loved and cherished. And what I texted Rhonda after I watched it was that she's literally hugging the same kind of tree that I hugged when I was on the way to see my family right after my dad died. could anything be more perfect than that? Now, are you ready to go to a sing-along? Seems funny to talk about going to a sing-along right after that, but that's how the and space works. Okay, here we go. Let's sing along and have some fun.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Toll the ancient Yuletide carol, la 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us, fa la 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, fa la 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 la. Follow me with merry measure, fa la 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 la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure, fa la 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 la. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare His room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ. While fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains, repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations known the glories of His righteousness, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love.
Grace, grit, and grow. My Grace. Grace is getting to spend time with my granddaughter. She is such a little treat and such a little pistol, and I love most moments I spend with her. I have two grits. I left my tripods at home, so my arm is hurting. That's a grit. The second grit is New Jersey Turnpike and the Garden State Parkway. I do not like driving on those highways. And to get here, I can take them or not take them. Yesterday I took them. That is a grit and a half. Grow. Grow is that I'm looking into 2026 now. As the year comes to a close, I'm looking at what do I want to work on next year? And I'm coming up with some really incredible plans. I'm not ready to say any of them yet, but I want to issue an invitation to all of you. What are you thinking about for 2026? So when I say that, I would really love to know how you want to feel a year from now. When you look back at 2026, what would you like some of your Advents to be? Both things you'd like to say you experienced, things you accomplished, but also ways that you feel. So it's like, how do I feel when my little granddaughter snuggles up to me and says that she wants to sit with me, and that she says, I'm having so much fun with my granny. I'm going to cry. How do you want to feel when you talk to your loved ones? What do you want to experience? What is something that seems outrageous to you, yet doable? And if you have no idea, I invite you over the next few days to open the door to those kinds of conversations with yourself, with your loved ones. I think that's enough for today. Thank you so much, and stay here if you'd like to go for a nice ride on a country road. I'd love to have you do that with me.